All right, shall we dance? Oh, let me change something real quick before I do that. Just a second. I'm there in a second, guys. This is not technical difficulty. This is just me making a change that'll make the whole thing make sense. All right, good morning, everybody. Welcome to the show on Tuesday. Obviously, you know it's Tuesday. And I was just catching up a couple things this morning, so I had, whatever. There's a culture war going on, if you hadn't noticed, and it's an interesting thing to watch because depending on where you watch and whatnot, it's a tug-of-war. One side moves a little bit, then the other side moves a little bit. Unfortunately, one side has been moving for a long time this way, and hopefully that can be remedied by some common sense. But we'll see. We will see, right? So anyway, that's enough for the pre-intro. Johnny, play the intro, please. Yeah, now.
Ladies and gentlemen, coming to you live from the Lucky Dog studio in a hidden location somewhere in the upper Midwest of the United States of America, it's a brother making his own way but with all the wrong opinions. Welcome to the Morning Night Live with your host, the one and only P-Dog Knight.
Yep. Let's get it on. Stop the music. Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Morning Night Live. I'm your host, Marty, also known as P-Dog Knight on the internet. Welcome back to the P-Dog Knight channel, where I believe we are streaming on Rumble today. Is that working over there? Let's see. Maybe not. Are we working on Rumble? Hell yes, we're working on Rumble. Alrighty then. I was a little worried because I had some problems yesterday, and I was wondering if it was because. So here's what I figured out about Rumble. If I set up a stream in advance on Rumble, for some reason it never works. You have to do it for right now and just let it go and let that stupid 1 minute preview video run until you get the show started. But anyway, I'm here. I'm queer. Get used to it. No, that's not what I meant to say. Let's say hi to everybody and just kind of get through the news because there's a lot of it, a lot of stuff that's happening right now that is trending, and just a lot of just stuff that I have picked out. And I want to make sure I get to I wouldn't call it the main story. It was just the story with the best picture. So I made that the thumbnail just because it was more interesting. And so that's where we're at. So anyway, let's say good morning, everybody. First over in the chat on Rumble, Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Good morning. And Next Gen Troll. Looks like just the two of you. Just the two of us. We can make it if we try. Just the two of us. Just the two of us. Anyway, thank you for joining me over on Rumble. On YouTube, first in the chat is also Mr. Avocados Diablo gets the bell. Also, good morning to Sarah Tyrannus Alexandrius, the Invictus Lich. Got to do that every once in a while. Good morning also to Simon Wolfwood, Trippy Liberties in the house, Rotten Corpse, JB, Fake News Expert, Simon Wolfwood, I already said those two, Unacceptable Views, another one of our good Canadian friends. Good morning to Chicago Mike, and that's it. That's all. Sometimes if I don't set it up early enough. Oh, and Scribe Light, my friend Prince, who says Prince Dog Thrapple. Yes, we discovered why what the P stands for in P-Dog Night. That would be Prince. If you follow me on Twitter, you'll understand that. Good morning, Sapnus Wolf over on Rumble, too. I did not get my ominous music. Oh, now my day will go away. Oh, no! Avocados Diablo Gotcha, brother. Also, good morning, Tyler F. and George Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light? All right, let's get it on, right? Let's get it on. I feel like singing today, obviously, because I'm singing everything. I got my cup of reparations right here. Let's get into some news. Let's talk about what's trending in the world of Twitter. Oh, first, before I do that, let me thank some people. Looks like I got some thank yous. Thank you, Somnambule Nation and Simon Wolford for tweeting out the show or retweeting the show. What the hell is this guy talking about? Wait, what? San Fran makes sense. Oh, San Francisco State. Yeah, that's an old story. Ian Miles Chong. Y'all remember there was a viral video. It's been 9 years. Holy shit. 2000, no, not 9 years. Excuse me. 7 years. 7 years ago, 2016, viral video of a young black woman berating a little short dude wearing dreadlocks, right? And she was like in some campus yelling, just complaining to him and then trying to push him around and stuff. And for whatever reason, Ian Miles Chong brought that video out. And I'm like, dude, that's from 2016. Because he said, oh, when you're woke, you can do. Well, here, let me bring up the video because you may or may not remember this one. I know that most people probably do. Where it is. Here it is. So you probably remember this video, right? Here it is. This young woman here, and she's berating this guy. In fact, let's just watch it. This is old. This is old though. This is an old video. Okay, here we go. Hello, tall person, chosen one.
I can't have a hairstyle because of your culture. Why?
Because it's my culture, right?
Do you know what it was in?
And what does this dude up here have in his hair? Is that a birthmark spot? So now he wouldn't let her leave. She pushes him.
Huh? Yo, girl, stop touching me right now.
Yo, girl, stop touching me right now.
Get off of me.
So anyway, this is, I don't know why he's bringing it up. Hello, Hate Camel. What's up? Hello, JB. That's an old video, but she's talking about cultural appropriation. He just wants to get away from her. And the gay inspector guy, that's right. That kid in the back. So anyway, so I don't know if he's just trying to stir up some stuff or whatever, but his sign was, when you're woke, you can do anything you want. Look at the smile on this woman's face as she assaults a student for cultural appropriation. I can't believe, as long as Ian Miles Chong has been around on the internets, that he wouldn't have seen this before and didn't know this is old. So I don't know why he brought it up. Who knows? But it's not worth, not worth a whole lot of time here. Anyway, let's get into what is actually current and trending. This morning I was checking the Twitter machine, and Bronny was trending. You know who knows who Bronny is without me telling you? By the way, yes, she is kind of a bully, and she's smiling. She was a bully, and she also, I believe, got reprimanded by the school. They did an investigation. I can't remember if she got kicked out. She was some kind of a teacher's assistant, maybe lost that position. I cannot remember. Anyway, Bronny, not Brawny, Bronny. And that is, okay, I'm just going to break the suspense here. Bronny is LeBron James' son. His nickname Bronny, right? And some people are upset with Bronny because Bronny took a cute little white girl to prom. Here's Bronny James and his date to prom. Now, if you really think about this logically, okay. Good morning, Jay Pylon. What's up? Good morning from Jay Pylon and Jimmy Das Hotep. That's a double duty Dom DeMarco. So he took this little white girl to prom, right? Cute little white girl, whatever. And like, anyone should give a shit. First of all, it's none of their damn business. But number two, I'm pretty sure Bronny goes to a little, he goes to some private, school where the choices are limited. You just choose who you want, and the girls know you're LeBron James kid and you have a promising future career of your own. I'm sure they flock to him and he does whatever he wants. Now the funny thing about it though, And it's mostly, how do I put this gently? It's mostly the sisters who are upset about this, because, this young black man, he judged there with a white girl, right? And I'm like, what really would have shut them up about this? And maybe I'll make a little short video about this. Maybe he should have taken D Wade's kid to prom, because that would have shut him up. Because you're not allowed. You're not allowed to complain about that. If you didn't know, D Wade has a daughter or a son who is now transgender. Her daughter, excuse me. It's hard. I speak traditional, my own dialect and language. So anyway, lots of people bitched about Bronny taking the young white girl to prom. That was a while back, but for some reason it popped up again. And then also people are saying that LeBron James is thinking about retiring maybe. Did they get swept? Did they play last night? Yes, they did. They get swept. Well, that happens. Was that a while back? So anyway, they got swept. There's no historic comeback for the Lakers. We got LeBron James 2 days in a row on the show. Moving on. Also trending this morning on Twitter, Kari Lake, the former candidate for governor in the state of Arizona. She did lose another lawsuit, or they got sent. Judge rules against Kari Lake in election lawsuit trial. Judge Thompson, a total coward, completely corrupt, or both. What a disgrace. That's what this person says. And people are calling her a loser or whatnot. It's interesting why these judges refuse to hear any of these cases. But is what it is. And you can't fight it. You just got to win decisively from now on, right? And I don't know. Here it is. Breaking. This is Mark Elias, of course, the Democratic lawyer. Breaking. Arizona court rejects Kari Lake's last legal challenge in the 2022 election for governor. Court confirms the election of Kerry Hobbs as Arizona governor. Blah, 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 blah. Court does not find either. Here's the findings of law. Here, I'll go full screen so you can see it because it doesn't fit. The court does not find either clear or convincing evidence or preponderance of evidence of misconduct in violation of Arizona, blah, 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 blah. The court does not find either clear or convincing evidence or the preponderance of evidence that such misconduct was committed by an officer making or participating in a canvass, blah, blah, blah. The court does not find either clear or convincing evidence of the preponderance of evidence that such misconduct did in fact result in the 2022 general election by a competent mathematical basis, whatever that's supposed to say there. Obviously doesn't fit. So anyway, judge said, nope, ain't gonna happen. So there you go. Guess it's over. Call it a day. Sorry that it had to end this way. All right. Good morning, Bishop. What's up? Paulissa, my lovely daughter, and Jess, too. Say hello to my daughter and my wonderful son-in-law in the chat. Chosen One, good morning to you, too. And anyone else show up over here? That's about everybody. Funny thing, let's put rest for. Okay, so Arizona proves that all U.S. elections have been rigged all along. Interesting. That's I'm not saying it was rigged, but I'm saying it was wrong. I'm not saying that it wasn't the most pristine and perfect election in the histories of elections, but that stuff in Maricopa County seemed to be like a pain in the butt. So anyway. All right, let me check. I got more notifications here. Let me see what's going on here. Thank you to Jimmy Das Hotep and Tall Person for tweeting out the show. I appreciate you very, very much. There's a bunch of people over here. Oh, I made a joke about D Wade's kid. Anyway, all right, let's see. Let's move on. Also trending on Twitter this morning. Guam is trending. And remember how when Hank Johnson, the congressman from Georgia, was talking about the dangers of possibly Guam tipping over? Well, Guam is trending because there's a major typhoon hitting Guam right now, and it may tip over, just to say. Let's see. The JATWC has revised the intensity of Typhoon Mawar back down to 155 miles per hour. So it's a Category 4 typhoon. Okay, so it's typhoon, hurricane, and cyclone, all the same thing, just what part of the world you where you live. Did it capsize? Well, it hasn't capsized yet. But look, there's a danger of it capsizing. If you ask Congressman Hank Johnson, the dumbest, what's my new moniker for him? Hank Johnson, the dumbest member of Congress, dumbest member of Congress. Yes, that would be Hank Johnson. Okay, so anyway, Guam has a big old storm happening, but it looks like it's slowing down, but still. Forecast to slam in the U.S. territory of Guam, home to 170,000 American citizens, as a devastating Category 4 storm. If the storm makes landfall as a super typhoon, 150 miles an hour, it could become one of the top 10 strongest landfalling storms. Okay, so there you go. So prayers for the people of Guam. Let's move on. Also trending this morning. What is this? Oh, yeah, E. Jean Carroll. So E. Jean Carroll. Oh, wait a minute. Before I do that, thank you, Tall Person, sponsoring the show over on Rumble with a Rumble rant. Thank you, sir. Says, Happy World Turtle Day. Happy World Turtle Day. Well, happy World Turtle Day to you. We're very, very happy of World Turtle Day. Thank you very much. Tall Person. I appreciate you dropping a deuce in the tip jar. We'll be cleaning that up later. Okay. E. Jean Carroll is trending because she's thinking about suing Donald Trump even more for her BS. I'm sorry, for her suit. Just hours after E. Jean Carroll moved to amend her original defamation case against Donald Trump, Trump is back on Truth Social, reiterating the same statements about her he's been making since 2019, that he didn't know her. So there's people rooting for E. Jean Carroll, and I'm sure the judge is going to do some kind of sanctions. The other thing, though, if you go from another side of the aisle, this woman and her shameful handlers are making a mockery of actual rape victims. She's going to lose everything messing with Trump. I don't know about that. We'll see. Let's see. Let's see how this one reads. Breaking: E. Jean Carroll demands substantial damages over Trump's CNN town hall remarks. On Monday, E. Jean Carroll filed court papers seeking very substantial monetary damages in response to President Trump's remarks during the CNN town hall. Earlier this month, the jury in Manhattan delivered a verdict in the E. Jean Carroll rape defamation case. In 2019, Carroll made allegations that Trump had raped her in a dressing room at Bergdorf Goodman's during the 1990s. Trump has denied the allegations to refer to E. Jean Carroll as a whack job who is not his type. The jury determined that Trump had engaged in sexual abuse and defamed Carroll, and they issued an order for him to pay $5 million in damages. A couple weeks ago, Trump blasted E. Jean Carroll during his CNN town hall event. What kind of woman meets somebody and brings them up within 10 minutes? You're playing hanky-panky in a dressing room, Trump said, adding the accusation was a fake and made-up story. She's taking aim at Trump again. Judge Lewis Kaplan, who was appointed by Clinton, will ultimately determine whether Carroll is permitted to amend her ongoing lawsuit. So, what's really weird about this, I didn't even think this until recently. So apparently, if you know who George Conway is, who's he married to? He's married to Skeletor lady that used to be on Trump's advisors. And he's a total anti-Trump, so it's a really weird couple. Hello, Rod Line. Rod Line, what's up? Nice to see you. Also, Rick Ashbringer, Special Can Acid, Man Squatch, all in the house. So anyway, somehow George Conway pushed her to run the suit. But what happened was, E. Jean Carroll wrote a book in 2019. Now, she was promoting this book. And in this book, she wrote this passage claiming that Trump did these things to her, right? And I hadn't really thought about it. So I went back and read it again. Because we've talked about how the physical capabilities of what she wrote didn't really match up with reality, right? But then I also thought about it. And when they brought this into his remember his little stupid joke he told to Billy Baldwin or whatever it was when he was Entertainment Tonight or one of these things, They grab her by the, whatever comments. And I went back and listened to that because someone was claiming that he never said something about they let them, how some groupie types or whatever chase celebrities and let them do things that they wouldn't let any, normal person on the street do to them. And I went and listened to the story he was telling Billy Baldwin in that recording. And it vaguely resembled what E. Jean Carroll wrote, right? And she wrote this book in 2019, and I was thinking, because the big deal was obviously made of that during his presidential campaign. In fact, all during his presidency, and people still use that as a line to be anti-Trump. And I thought, oh my gosh, this somewhat former fiction writer wrote a story to match that so she could come back later and sue him. Because, again, the way she wrote it, didn't make sense from the way she, I've talked about that before, but anyway. So anyway, that's why she's trending. Enough about her. Okay. I might have to do something separate with that because I talk about it too much. Every time I read that, I go, really? How exactly did you do that? That would be, I say the words physically impossible. Unless we've already talked about it, and I don't want to talk about anything about Donald Trump's private parts again. So anyway, also trending is Gretchen Whitler, the governor of Michigan. I'm going to, actually, you know what's funny? This weekend, I am going to see Gretchen Whitler's summer home. Because at the Upper Peninsula on Mackinac Island is the summer home of the governor of the state of Michigan. Now, I think it's an official governor's home there. It's not her personal cabin. I think it's the official governor's, because apparently the governor of Michigan gets a special sub-mansion up UP, right? So anyway, I'm going to go see her, the other governor's mansion. It's supposed to be pretty cool up there on Mackinac Island. But anyway, Gretchen Whitler's trending. Now, why is she trending? Well, it looks like Michigan Governor Gretchen Whitler, I keep calling her Whitler, Whitmer, okay, Whitmer, or Whitless, yes, thank you, Sarah, gave final approval to the red flag laws that aims to keep firearms away from those at risk of harming themselves or others. The new law, also known as Extreme Risk Protection Orders, is expected to go into effect next spring. So they're going to do that, what's that movie, Tom Cruise, Minority Report, when they try to guess what you're going to do in the future, and they have special super computers and machines and stuff that connect to your body and tell or they imagine what other people are going to do, and then they go out and arrest them before they do it. Well, they're doing that in Michigan. They're going to have a Minority Report for people who want to purchase firearms. And then pick your 2020 Dem ticket from these four options for president. Oh my gosh, they have her on the possible list too. Ooh, for 2028, they have Kamala, Gretchen Whitler, Warnock, and is that Beto? Wait a minute, is that Beto?
Beta.
No! Wait a minute, let's look at this tweet. Hang on. Is that Beto? No, it's not. Oh my gosh, I thought it was Beta. It's not Beto?
Beta.
Okay, no. All right, anyway. So I guess that's why Gretchen Whitler's trending, because she signed the bill. All right. Have we had enough of this? Enough of that? If I talk too long, let's get into some news. What's this one? Oh, shoot. I forgot about that. Penny Marshall is trending. Now, I have no idea. Everyone's trying to figure out why Penny Marshall's trending. Penny Marshall of Laverne and Shirley fame. No, that's not Penny Marshall. I love it when people do that. This is not Penny Marshall. Whitler reminds me of Barmorda from Willow. Oh my gosh, I forgot about that. Is that okay, I'm not sure which one. Yeah, she died in 2018. She died in 2018. I believe. Yes, I guess this guy had no idea that Penny Marshall died in 2018. I used to call her office for Steve, screenwriter producer who I used to work for. Yeah, she died a while ago. Rest in peace, Penny Marshall. She's been dead. So I'm not sure why she's trending today. Rob Ryder was her husband at one point. That's scary. Yeah, she used to be married to Meathead. And her dad is Gary Marshall, who's a pretty good actor too. But it doesn't really say why she's trending, so don't know why. All right, don't know why. Penny's trending in the sky. Penny Marshall. I told you I felt like singing today. Should we get some news, some real news? So here's a shocker. So there's this Russian deputy minister, right? Russian deputy minister in Russia, who he kind of been slamming the invasion of Ukraine, right? Or he did recently, and he slammed the fascist invasion of Ukraine, quote, right? Well, apparently, this minister, unfortunately, has suddenly passed away. Welcome to Russia, right? Holy shit. A senior Russian lawmaker who was reportedly critical of the invasion of Ukraine died over the weekend, a Russian government confirmed, the Russian government, in the latest unexpected fatality. This is like sudden, died suddenly to the shots too. Anyway, unexpected fatality of a prominent figure since the war began. In a statement, Russian military of science and higher education confirmed that Deputy Science Minister Peter Kucherenko, 46, died on Saturday. The ministry said he became ill while on board a plane carrying Russian delegates home after a business trip to Cuba. The flight made an emergency landing in southern Russia, but doctors couldn't save him, the ministry said. So I'm sure he got the special dish. Anyway, that's a shocker. Moving on. Susan Rice. You know who Susan Rice is, right? She's an advisor to the president, and she was an advisor to President Obama. In fact, I think she was the real president. I really do. I think she is. It's third term Obama via Susan Rice. Anyway, she met with the activist lawyer who stoked online mob against the pregnant nurse. Remember the bicycle lady? Did I say hi to Ryan himself? Hi, Ryan himself. I don't know if I did or not, but I am saying it now. The White House advisor Susan Rice met Friday with race activist and lawyer, I should say, Benjamin Crump, a day after he stoked an online mob against a pregnant white New York City nurse who was falsely accused of stealing a bike from black teenagers. The Rice, the director of the White House Domestic Policy Council, met with Crump to discuss the killing of one of his clients while on vacation. What? In Mexico last week, Crump wants the White House to pressure Mexican officials to extradite suspects implicated in the case, he told reporter April Ryan. Wait a minute. What? Okay, hang on a second. U-Haul's trending on Twitter? Oh, I'll have to check that out. Why would he want if they committed the murder in Mexico, why would they want them extradited to the United States? They didn't break U.S. law. They broke Mexican law. Interesting. Wants the killing of one of his clients in Mexico. Crump wants the White House to pressure Mexican officials to extradite suspects implicated in the case. Okay, Rice hosted Crump at the White House hours after his viral claims against nurse Sarah Camry were debunked. On May 15th, Crump published a video of an argument between Camry and a group of black teenagers over payment of a rental bike in New York City. Crump falsely accused Camry of stealing the bike and alleged it was another case of a white woman putting young black men in danger. Okay, so we know about that story. I'm more interested in how he thinks that we have the power to extradite people who murdered someone in another country. That's really weird. So anyway, I'm not sure why they wrote this article. I mean, yeah, the reason they met was interesting, but I guess it's just they wanted to put about the story about the nurse who they figured out did not steal the bike. Okay, now Sarah says U-Haul is trending on Twitter right now. Let's go check that out real quick. and I'm not sure why. And let's, is it trending for everybody or just for, oh yeah, it's, okay, it is, oh yes! I almost forgot about this. So that's yeah, this is probably a bigger story than what I put on the headline. Let's slip this in right now because it's one of the most current stories from yesterday. So if you didn't know, yesterday there was a U-Haul that seemed to be making some sort of terroristic attack on the White House. It broke through some barriers, and then some dude, you know, to the gates, right? And then when they took some pictures of it after the incident, they said, well, they searched the van, the trailer, the whatever, the U-Haul, and the only thing they found in it was conveniently a nicely clean, freshly pressed Nazi flag. And they laid it on the ground very neatly, very, very, just you could see it very clearly when they took a picture of the van and the nice little Nazi flag on the ground right in front of it. And so this was, you know, clearly this was some right-wing, nut job who had been radicalized on the internet, on Twitter, ever since Elon Musk took it over, and probably had some 4chan ties and ties to the Hispanic white supremacists down in Texas, probably had connections to all of them. And they're like, oh, this is the perfect example of what the FBI has been talking about. Not white ring, although you could say right ring.
You're fucking a white male!
Right-wing extremism being one of the most dangerous threats of terrorism in the United States today, right? Okay, so people are talking about the U-Haul today. Well, Viva Fry helped, one of my the lawyer dudes on Twitter and YouTube. He has an update on this, and here it is. The suspect who drove the U-Haul into security barriers near the White House carrying a swastika flag, which was carefully and perfectly laid out on the ground by authorities for the perfect photo op, has been identified. Thank goodness they've identified this white right-wing extremist. His name is Sai Varshith Kandula. What? Sai Varshith Kandula. Well, he's from Missouri, so he's from a red state. Oh, and this is Kai. Oh my God. What? The Missouri man who drove the U-Haul into the White House, the media is referring to him as a white supremacist after authorities found a Nazi flag in the vehicle. This is Sai, the white supremacist. Boy, I tell you what, it's amazing how diverse the white supremacists are these days. It's fantastic. It's unbelievable. And see, here's the picture. Look at this picture they took. This is the picture they took. Oh, hang on. I can't see the whole thing. You got to see the whole thing. This is the picture that the FBI provided to news agencies, right? Look at this. We got the U-Haul that's barely knocked into some barriers right here, and there it's open, and the police there. And look how neatly they laid out this Nazi flag in front of it. It's like, oh my God, they really, 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 really wanted you to see that flag because they got it laid out here perfectly, neatly, flat on the ground. They didn't just throw it in a pile. They laid it out neatly along with some other stuff over here. This is beautiful. Beautiful picture. Perfectly done. Holy shite, Batman. So anyway, let's see. Let me see if there's anything else. Breaking news. We have a very reliable tip. The driver of the U-Haul that crashed into Lafayette Square near the White House. Oh, near the White House gate. Near the White House gate. Is Sai Varshith Kandula. The picture from his Missouri's driver's license. Oh, but now they do have a picture of some other people that were in the area. Oh, look at that. There's some people who were in the area. You know that they were feds. They were feds, baby. You know, it's funny. I don't see an actual story about this, though. Isn't that weird? Okay, there's no story. Here's Sticks says Sai Varshith Kandula, obviously a white supremacist, crashes Utah slowly into the security railing at Lafayette Square. Yeah, it doesn't look like it did much damage. Now that truck really, if it wanted to, those posts could be completely taken out. It could probably do some real damage, but it very gently put it there. Does anyone have oh, there's some video. Took this photo of the White House immediately heard a crash behind me. Figured someone may have accidentally crashed until the Utah backed up once again and tried to break through the barriers. Shout out to the Secret Service police for their quick response. So this guy actually has some video. Let's look at this. I'm sure the news agencies are just really hankering for some of this video. Maybe. Oh, they didn't show him backing up and crashing again. Okay, I guess maybe not. That's just from afar. Has anyone seen my U-Haul driver? Oh my gosh. Okay, we're not even 4 hours in. The U-Haul Nazi driver story, and immediately right-wing Twitter is calling this false flag psyop. I question how much of this scourge on American soil are they willing to downplay. Allen was only 17 days ago. People die when fascist thrives. Yes. Cy Vershith Kandala is certainly an American-bred and born fascist, I'm sure. He's from Missouri. Missouri's a red state. I'm sure he is a fascist, right? Let's see. Let's go back to this side screen. Yes, because the police always take the evidence and put it out in the pavement in view of the media. Look how neatly he's putting this down there in view of the media. Also, where's the person who drove the U-Haul? Because this is what appears to be a Nazi flag just pulled from the cab of the U-Haul truck that rammed the fence at Lafayette Square in front of the White House. Then the next picture, that's Reuters, okay, for Reuters. We need a false flag tag. Here, this is coming straight from the top. Dude, it's midnight. Wait, who's at my door? Oh, that must have been I bet I got a package. Hang on a second here. Yep, that was a package. And then let's see. So they're mad because someone's saying it's a false flag, and the way they put the way they put this flag out is just amazing. It's just amazing. Brand new too. Doesn't it look nice and fresh and clean? At least from that angle. I don't know. Anyway, all right. That's why U-Haul's trending. Thank you, Sarah. Thanks for reminding me. I almost forgot. I saw that early this morning and. I didn't remember to, oh wait, here's some more video. Okay, so this is, here's more video. I really didn't plan on doing this today, but here we go. So breaking U-Haul truck, this is 10 hours ago, rams into security barriers outside the White House. Currently multiple law enforcement and the Secret Service along with the bomb squad are on the scene after U-Haul truck crashes and rams into security barriers near the White House. Is this expanded? Oh, the Secret Service pulled what appears to be a swastika flag from the cab of the U-Haul truck that rammed the fence at Lafayette Square. So clearly, this is it's so obvious that they really, really, really wanted you to see this flag, right? They really wanted you to see it so the media could take pictures. Like, that's almost embarrassing how they did that. You know, why would they lay it out on the ground like that? There's no other purpose than to make sure that the media, whoever there is taking pictures, sees it nice and clearly. All right, let's move on. Jeff Bezos is trending. Now, I know a lot of you may have been concerned for Jeff Bezos. Now, if you don't remember, Jeff Bezos is the, I guess he's the CEO. He's the guy who founded Amazon. He's the CEO, whatnot. And I'm sure that many of you were very, very concerned for Jeff Bezos' well-being when he and his lovely wife Miranda got divorced. Right? They split. Poor Jeff Bezos. She took half his fortune. So I don't know. He's probably living on saltines and grass-flavored tea water. Right? But and also I'm sure you were concern about Jeff Bezos' emotional health after he and Miranda got divorced, right? Well, praise Allah and Jesus and Buddha and all those people who, you know, you would praise too, Jeff Bezos has found love again, and Jeff Bezos is now engaged. Jeff Bezos is engaged to this unfortunate looking woman, unfortunately. Laura Sanchez. He's engaged to Lauren Sanchez after nearly 5 years together. I don't know, man. It's you know, sometimes ugly dudes just have to take what they can get, and so he's engaged to this unfortunate looking woman, Laura Sanchez, and because, you know, it really doesn't, you know, ugly guys have to, like I said, ugly guys got to do what they do, and so thank God Jeff Bezos has found love again, and hopefully he'll be able to move on in his life. There's his yacht there. That's them on their yacht, and the, you know, big giant yacht with the tennis court on the back of it. Is this her? Mermaid resembling Sanchez adorns the bow of the yacht. Well, that's interesting. That's okay. So anyway, thank God for love. Okay, so now let's move on. Let's get into some other news stories. We'll do them real quick because I got to get through here. Don't Google what? Half of a half is a fourth. Well, yeah, I don't know what that means. Oh, no. Dirty Sanchez. Oh, God. I've never heard of it. Okay, the Hunter Biden investigation. Second IRS agent or whistleblower has claimed retaliation. Now, this seems to be a trend, because remember there was that whistleblower on the Hunter Biden investigation, the IRS part, and there was a whistleblower who chose to remain anonymous, and then they fired the whole team that was investigating Hunter Biden because of the leak. Well, a second IRS whistleblower. Here, let me put on the screen. Which one fits here better? Left? There we go. A second IRS whistleblower has alleged retaliation for raising concerns that Justice Department leadership was acting improperly or inappropriately on the investigation into Hunter Biden. The Washington Examiner has learned the allegations come from an IRS case agent come a month after an IRS supervisory special agent revealed Congress politics had infected the case involving the president's son. Both whistleblowers were removed from the federal investigation into possible Hunter Biden tax violations this month. Communications obtained by the first whistleblower's lawyer showed that the second whistleblower was threatened with allegations of criminal conduct after raising concerns about the handling of the Hunter Biden case. The lawyers for the initial whistleblower, Tristan Levitt and Mike Little, the president of Empower Oversight and a partner in Nixon Peabody LLP, respectively, fired off a new letter to IRS Commissioner Daniel Werfel on Saturday in which they outlined the alleged retaliation. And here's the quote. Our client learned that one of the agents he supervises, the case agent on the case our client is blowing the whistle on, sent you an email on Thursday in which the IRS agent raised concerns about Hunter Biden investigation. The lawyers wrote in a letter obtained by the Washington Examiner from congressional sources, but IRS leadership quickly responded with accusations of criminal conduct and warnings to other agents in an apparent attempt to intimidate into silence anyone who might raise similar concerns. So anyway, they're out there trying to intimidate these people because it's Joe Biden's kid. What do you expect from this administration? They are wanna get dirty. That's all I'm going to sing of that song. That's all I know. All right. Moving on. There's two articles about that. There's one in the Federalist. I'll put them in the links. I'm not going to read the second one. Now, I noticed something yesterday. The headlines regarding Daniel Penny, the guy who I'm going to say mistakenly ended the life of another man on a subway. And this is I just noticed that the headlines about this story seem to be designed to enhance emotions in certain segments of society. And so I'm going to give you one example from CNN. That's the only reason I put it up. I don't even need to read the whole thing because the guy did an interview with the New York Post, and even the New York Post's headline for this, I was like, you're just trying to rile people up. But here's one from This is CNN. So listen, look at this headline from CNN. Daniel Perry, the man who held Jordan Neely in a fatal chokehold, says race had nothing to do with it. The New York Post reports. Now, knowing how social media and various news organizations work, it's almost as though they're trying to tell you that it did. Notice that this is the fact that he's denying it without any context. I'm sure somebody asked him specific questions to get that answer. Why would that be the headline of this story? Okay. And then they go into the story a little bit. And it's Omar Jimenez, who tends to write things that way. And also Ella Marusi, who I'm not familiar with. A Marine veteran who held and then they go into the unhoused. When did unhoused become a thing? Why is homeless bad? Why is homeless, and what's the difference between homeless and unhoused? Anyway, who held an unhoused black man in a deadly chokehold aboard a New York City subway train earlier this month, defended his actions and said in an interview with the New York Post, the killing had nothing to do with race. So I guess they immediately make it something to do with race. Daniel Penny told the newspaper he's deeply saddened by the loss of life amid what has become a contentious homicide case that has highlighted New York's handling of homelessness. What? Does it highlight? How does it highlight? Well, I suppose it does. This guy had some mental issues and maybe should have been, I don't know, detained somehow. Of course, he also had criminal issues that he wasn't being detained for. Why detain someone for mental issues if you're not going to detain him for criminal issues? I don't know. The interview was the first time Penny had spoken publicly since being charged, and I think he should. Here, I got some good advice for Daniel Penny, and I'm surprised that he's raised over $2 million to help pay for his defense. I have just tiny bit of advice. In fact, it was advice that I gleaned from reading Chaucer back in the day. Back when I was in high school, we were reading some Chaucer, right? And this is kind of what I gleaned from that, the literary classics of Chaucer. Shut the fuck up! Don't talk to the media. Don't talk to anybody. What the fuck are you doing? Get a lawyer and have him tell you to shut the fuck up. And then after he tells you to shut the fuck up again. What you don't talk to the media, period, at all. Don't talk about your case until you're in the courtroom and somebody asks you specifically. And if you're in a criminal case, you don't have to talk at all. Shut the fuck up. Chaucer was pretty smart. Anyway, so the interview. Now listen, and again, this is a hagiography. The interview is the first time Penny has spoken publicly since charged in a second-degree manslaughter on the killing of Jordan Neely, a New York City street artist known for his Michael Jackson impersonations. Really? Because on that subway that day, he was known for threatening people. None of those people knew him as a Michael Jackson impersonator. No one thought of him as a street artist. They thought of him as someone who is threatening a bunch of people. Now, that doesn't mean that Penny is allowed to kill him. Don't get it twisted here. Even in the best of intentions, if you kill somebody, you did something wrong, and that's the way I see it. But he was protecting other people on the train, as he thought, and as the other people in the train thought. But Penny has been out of jail on a $100,000 bond. He has not been indicted and has not yet been required to enter a plea. I thought he had. Didn't they indict him already? This is yesterday. I thought they already. Interesting. I had no idea that they had not indicted him yet. I thought they already did. Anyway, then he held him in fatal chokehold, blah, 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 blah. But Again, in the words of Geoffrey Chaucer, shut the fuck up. Seriously. All right, moving on. In the New York Post, Biden again did it again, claimed his son Bo died in Iraq. 2 Marines that in Japan stopped. Here's Joseph Rahim Biden talking about his son Bo. Oh, volume.
U.S. Army. My son was a major. U.S. Army. Lost him in Iraq.
My son was a major in the U.S. Army. We lost him in Iraq. Well, unless you're talking about Iraq as in a hospital bed, yeah, no, Joe. I don't get it.
Bronze Star, like you all about country. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you.
Okay, so anyway, President Biden told U.S. forces stationed in Japan that his son Bo perished in the Iraq War. A video obtained exclusively by the Post revealed after the president stoked questions about his own mental acuity by making the same incorrect claim at least twice last year. My son was a major in the U.S. Army. We lost him in Iraq. And the 80-year-old president said during an informal visit with troops at a Marine Corps air station in Awakuni on Thursday. So, yeah, he's still telling that show, that thing. Okay, way to go, Joe. All right, how much time I got? Oh, I'm doing good for time. Apparently, the Fox News channel is on board with Ron DeSantis, or somebody is, because they reported today that last night that over 100 former Trump administration officials backed DeSantis for president. Quote, a proven winner. Now, I don't particularly care if it's Trump or DeSantis, or if it's Vivek, or if it's Tim Scott, or even what's her name, Nikki Haley. I'm certainly not going to vote for Biden, but do I think that I think the top 2 choices are probably Trump and or DeSantis. And but apparently a lot of the establishment people are pro DeSantis. Now there are certain anti-Trumpers that are also so anti DeSantis, one namely Joe Walsh. If you remember Joe Walsh, he's a former congressman from Florida. Now he does a radio talk show or podcast, some bullshit. And he is very prominent on Twitter, and he's just blasting every Republican because he hates Trump so much that it's everyone's fault, and he's never going to vote for, he's going to vote for a Democrat anyway. But interesting, officials have formed a coalition called the 8-Year Alliance, viewing DeSantis as a viable 2-term candidate. Let's see, it's over 100 Trump administration officials have formed a growing coalition backing Florida Governor Ron DeSantis to be the Republican Party's 2024 nominee. According to multiple sources within the group, officially known as the 8-Year Alliance, DeSantis is a proven winner, a contender with depth of policy proven by what he's accomplished at the state level, and a leader who does what he says. Primary motivation of the group, the sources said, is to promote the candidate they feel would be a viable contender for 2 presidential terms, something they see in DeSantis. They also want to prevent former President Donald Trump immediately becoming the lame duck president should he win back the White House, considering the polarizing effect his persona has on American politics. So they seem to be saying they're more interested in something 8 years rather than having a 4-year guy. And I'm sure some of them, I'm curious too, at which one of these so-called former Trump administration officials, because remember, there's a lot of former Trump administration officials who never made it through the entire Trump administration. So I'm curious, at least they do see that from policy standpoint, maybe they were pleased with what Trump did. I don't know. Hard to say. Now let's move to the Washington Post. There are concerns about Biden's reelection. Okay. Swamped by fear of Trump in swing voter focus groups. Now, so here's the subheadline. Whatever the step above panicked is, That is what I feel about Trump, one of the voters who picked Trump in 2016 and then Biden in 2020. So some voters are not excited about the prospect of Trump coming back, but they also realize that Joe Biden sucks, right? Anyway, wait, let's stop. We have our first Streamlabs donation, Johnny Hellcat, which makes you
are
the new Streamlabs Superstar sponsor of the day. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for sponsoring the show. Who says, for the trip, I don't have much to add, but Biden lying? You don't say. Well, there you go. Thank you, Johnny Hellcat. Appreciate you, brother. The original viewer of the Morning Night Live. Oh, yeah, I put that trip fund thing there. Oh, I forgot about that. Okay, so thank you, Johnny Hellcat, for sponsoring the show. So far, 2 sponsors today. That's fantastic. All right, so this is a focus group of, now this is funny. So this focus group of nearly all of the 15 gathered swing state voters describe feeling negative emotions when they saw President Biden on a television or computer screen. Confused, concerned, worry, sad, sorry, and even panicked. Every single one said they wish Biden and his old Republican foe Donald Trump were not running for re-election. Several offered dire assessments of Biden's mental and physical capabilities or capacities, calling him too old or speculating about the possibility of dementia. Oh, you don't say. You don't say. But the focus group moderator steered the conversation to the possibility of a Biden rematch next year with Trump. The mood clearly shifted among these voters who had all cast a ballot for Trump in 2016 and then Biden in 2020. 9 of the 15 said they would vote again for Biden. 3 said they would go back to Trump, and 3 said they would either not vote or find a third-party candidate. So these are 15 people who voted for Trump in 2016 but voted for Biden in 2020. A majority panicked at the thought of Trump coming back. That's interesting. Whatever the step above panicked is, that is what I feel about Trump, said Felicia, a registered Democrat. Wait a minute, this registered Democrat voted for Trump in 2016? That's fascinating. So anyway, if you want to read the Washington Post trying to spin that Trump could not come back again, which is possible too. I don't know. There's probably people who don't like Trump that much. There are. We know there are. And there's people who completely switched on him based on the basically full-on sabotage of his entire presidency with the Russia bullshit and the impeachment bullshit and people accusing him of things that he did not say, or, making things he said sound like they were the worst things on earth when you take them out of context, but whatever. Moving on, at the University of Minnesota, there's a complaint. University of Minnesota engages in unlawful discrimination against white people. Insofar as the aim is to achieve racial balance, that is an objective that the Supreme Court has repeatedly condemned as illegitimate and patently unconstitutional. So, the University of Minnesota is facing a civil rights complaint for advertising a research program for students of color only. The University of Minnesota is engaging in unlawful discrimination through the Multicultural Summer Research Opportunities Program, states a federal civil rights complaint filed against the school last week by the Equal Protection Project. Racial discrimination by a public institution is illegal regardless of which race suffers. As of earlier this month, the website for the Multicultural Summer Research Opportunities Program said eligible students must identify as a student of color or Native American. Well, what's the problem? What's the problem? Anyone can identify as a student of color, right? I mean, you know where I'm going with this. You know where I'm going with this. Oh my gosh. However, that language. Oh, wait a minute. Stop. However, that language has since been removed, presumably because of the civil rights complaint. MSROP is an intensive 10-week summer program in which undergrad students of color work full-time with faculty mentor on a research project, the website for the program says. To prevent the acceptance of white students, the application process mandates that applicants disclose their demographic information according to the complaint, which provides screenshots of the university advertising the program to students of color only on social media. And then MSROP participants receive a $6,000 personal stipend and an additional research stipend assigned by the professor overseeing the project. The goal of the program is to help guide students into graduate studies in the future and prepare students of color and Native Americans for graduate school. Okay, so they want more black and brown and Native graduate students. Yeah, interesting. But yeah, where are my reparations? Yeah, it does violate federal law. I mean, it does. So be interesting to see how that one comes out. Okay, I'm gonna keep going here because now I'm running out of time. So remember when I noticed, when was this? Was this right after the election? And I think there were some pundits who predicted this, that said that there was going to be just a barrage of climate change media coming up soon. Well, here's an interesting little article. Explosion of AP, as in the Associated Press, climate change stories following an $8 million environmental grant. In the year following a grant of more than $8 million to the Associated Press from key climate change advocates, the news service has poured out at least 64 stories warning of environmental calamity, according to a new media study. Media Research Center Business charted the stories and language used following the multi-million-dollar grant and found that the AP also used over 500 environmental extremism buzzwords in the story. The media giant, which feeds news outlets worldwide, received grants totaling $8 million from the William and Flora Hewlett Foundation, the Howard Hughes Medical Institute, Quadrivium, the Rockefeller Foundation, and the Walton Family Foundation in February of 2022. AP said it would hire 20 new environmental writers with the money to create a climate SWAT team to enhance the global understanding of climate change and its impact across the world. Well, maybe they should talk to scientists instead of activists and actually check with those scientists to see if it's really true that 97% of all scientists believe that raising taxes on carbon thing and, carbon credits, if that will change the climate significantly. Because I know that a lot of people like to talk about that 97%, 7% of scientists agree. No, that was because they sent out a survey, right? They mail out survey, mail it back, and the only question was, hey, do you believe that humans could be contributing to climate change? Well, the ones who returned the survey said yes, and that was 90% of the people who returned the survey asking if humans could be contributing to climate change. Well, yeah, but then you get into these activists and they'll be arguing at a university like with Charlie Kirk or Ben Shapiro or something, and they're like, 97% of scientists agree that we must, switch everything to electric power. Well, no, that's not what they agreed. They agreed that humans could be affecting climate change. They didn't say that the solution is to make 5 million windmills across the plains. That's not what they said. So, it's funny. But anyway. The moral of this particular story is that if you give news organizations enough money, they'll write whatever you want. All right, next. The next stories are all what I meant to start with. Well, the main thing today, and the first story was how the Los Angeles Dodgers have gotten stuck in this little tug-of-war with cultural issues. So the Los Angeles Dodgers have reversed course on they reinvited a drag charity group to a Pride Night event. Okay. The Los Angeles Dodgers have apologized and extended a new invitation to a drag group after earlier disinviting them from the team's upcoming Pride Night at Dodger Stadium. See, all the players are gay, so they have to have a Pride Night at Dodger Stadium. The Dodgers had initially intended to honor the Los Angeles Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, a drag group that leads charity and activism efforts in the city, with a Community Hero Award at their Pride event on June 16th. But after a wave of conservative backlash against the drag group's use of Catholic imagery and other religious garb, the team removed the sisters from their list of don't honorees last week. See, there's a large Hispanic and Catholic population in Los Angeles, and a lot of them like baseball. And so there's a little bit of complaint that these people are blasphemous as far as the Catholic goes. But this is a tug-of-war between two cultural values, and of course, in Los Angeles, you know who wins that. The decision to rescind the invitation prompted another round of criticism. Oh no! This time from LGBTQ advocates, fans, and allies who expressed disappointment that the team had acquiesced to pressure from anti-LGBTQ critics. Really? Or were they just pro-Catholic critics? That's a good question. On Monday, the Dodgers reversed course again, announcing in a statement that they will include the sisters after all. After much thoughtful feedback from our diverse communities, honest conversations with the Los Angeles Dodgers organization, and generous discussions with the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, the Los Angeles Dodgers would like to offer our sincerest apologies to the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, members of the LGBTQ community, and their friends and families. The MLB team said, because look, I'm sure that a high percentage of baseball fans are from the LGBTQ community because, that's America's pastime, and the LGBTQ people in America are the greatest of Americans. And the drag group confirmed that they will accept the community award. So basically they got bullied into acquiescing to the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Yes, that's these guys right here. Okay, and these are guys because drag is gentlemen dressing as ladies, if you want to call them ladies. They look like circus clowns, but that's okay because they're in front of a Cirque du Soleil banner there, so whatever. And they're probably, I think these people are a little bit more of a comedic type drag show. Maybe not so, well, I don't know. I have no idea. I'm just spitballing here. I will stop spitballing. Moving on, we have more. By the way, the jealous gods of the Rainbow Church tolerate no infidels. So see, now this is appropriate because the Los Angeles Dodgers were being infidels, according to the Rainbow Church. But this is about public school teachers and other culture warriors on the left will insist that the symbols of their ascendant movement, such as the rainbow flag, pronouns and bios at introductions, and hate has no place signs, are just simple, unobjectionable statements of tolerance and love. Wearing a rainbow flag ought not to be controversial, they argue. It's merely a statement of LGBTQ inclusion, the media flatly assert. Now, why would religious conservatives object to wearing the flag or say public school teachers flying the flag in the classroom is inappropriate? Well, these symbols of 21st century gay and transgender movement aren't simply used to say, quote, we should love and tolerate everyone. Some of the folks deploying these symbols are basically a competing religion that is dedicated to destroying the religions held by billions of other people. Thus, the tug-of-war with the Los Angeles Dodgers. I'm sure their Hispanic fans who are mostly Catholic are like, what the hell is this shit? Anyway, and this is it. Consider the Los Angeles Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence. Funny, we should mention that. We just talked about it. This is the group that proudly flies the pride flag on its homepage, along with 100 images and declarations that, along with their name, are blatant mockery of Catholicism and women, particularly nuns and other religious sisters. This is a group of men who pretend to be women and dress up in vulgar, garish caricatures of religious sisters. Now, why do I mention this depraved group of men whose organizing principle is to mock a major religion in a sexualized and misogynistic way and proudly bear the pride flag while they do it? I do not think at all, or even most groups marching under the pride flag bear such hatred toward my religion. No, but this anti-Catholic group is very notable because when the Los Angeles Dodgers have a Pride Night next month, they are honoring the drag nuns of Los Angeles. The Los Angeles chapter of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence will receive this year's Community Hero Award for their countless hours of community service, ministry, and outreach to those on the edges. In addition to promoting human rights and respect for diversity and spiritual enlightenment. As Dodgers VP Eric Braverman explains, showcasing anti-Catholic bigotry is an effort to knock down barriers and foster an atmosphere of acceptance for all. Well, except Catholics, duh. Now you see why the anodyne statements of acceptance and tolerance strike so many of us as deceptive cover stories. When the Los Angeles Dodgers talk about acceptance and fly the pride flag, they are not being pluralistic, but are flying their own religious symbol. The LA drag nuns, quote unquote, see themselves as crusaders in a religious war, and the Los Angeles Dodgers have taken the side of this rainbow religion against the Christian religion. Senator Marco Rubio sent an open letter to the Dodgers about this. Quote, on June 16th, 2023, the Los Angeles Dodgers will host the LGBTQ Pride Night at Dodgers Park as part of the pregame ceremony. The Dodgers will give the Community Hero Award to the Los Angeles chapters of the Sisters of Perpetual Indulgence, a self-described order of queer and trans nuns that has mocked and degraded Christians and especially Catholics since its founding on Easter Sunday, 1979. The sisters are men who dress in lewd imitation of Roman Catholic nuns. The group's motto, "Go and sin some more," is a perversion of Jesus' command to go and sin no more. The group's Easter ceremony features children programming followed by a drag show where adult performers dress in blasphemous imitation of Jesus and Mary. The group hosts pub crawls mocking the Stations of the Cross and even the Eucharist, the sacrament that unites more than 1 billion Catholics around the world. But it's just Catholics. You can make fun of Catholics and Christians all you want in the United States. They're super duper more important special religion than the Catholics. Okay. So anyway, do you believe that Los Angeles Dodgers are being inclusive and welcoming to everyone by giving an award to a group of gay and transgender performers that intentionally mock and degrade Christians? Not only Christians, but nuns who devote their lives to serving others? Do you believe such an award is apolitical? No. The Dodgers should answer these questions. Better yet, the Dodgers should repent, apologize, and distance themselves from bigoted anti-Catholic groups, because otherwise they make it clear that for them, the Pride movement isn't about equal rights or acceptance, but is a religious war. So that's the editorial of the day. And that's why it seems odd here that they're going along with it. So anyway, and I think, I don't know how I got all these rainbow issues in here. Target, wait, what happened there? Target Pride Month partner boasts about Satanism. Yeah, right on. Satan respects pronouns. The designer behind one of Target's brand partnerships for Pride Month was revealed to have an affinity for Satanism, another religion within the religion. Pralin, the brand out of the United Kingdom and headed by self-proclaimed gay transgender man known as Eric, per the website, has had a collaboration in the works with each retailer for roughly a year. The collection includes a sweatshirt that reads "Cure Transphobia, Not Trans People," a tote bag that reads "Too Queer for Here," and a messenger pack that reads "We Belong Everywhere." Among Pralin's other apparel are images of pentagrams, horned skulls, and references to devils. Satan respects pronouns reads one previous design featured on a t-shirt and pins. These items have even been known to be sold at London's Satanic Flea Market during December, which the brand promoted on its social media. And then Target, of course, did not respond to the Washington Examiner for comment. There's more about it, but anyway, that's one of Target's lead designers for you. Freaking-tastic. What the hell? All right, 2 more and I gotta go. Oh, you know what? I'm not gonna go into this one. It's an article. It'll be in the links. A woman abused by trans-identified male contacted by police after misgendering non-binary patient while in the hospital. So basically what happened, this woman is being summoned for an interview by the Derbyshire police over allegedly transphobic behavior during her hospital stay at Chesterfield Royal Hospital. She received a notice just after being released from the hospital's mental health unit, where she had been seeking treatment following a traumatic episode related to her past abuse by a trans-identified male, aka a trans woman. Speaking to Redux and the Publica for an exclusive joint point, Smith explained that she was voluntarily admitted to Chesterfield's Harrington unit in January after contacting an emergency services herself, and explained that she had self-harmed. She's a survivor of repeated sexual and physical abuse. She says she suffered at the hands of a transgender ex-boyfriend. Figured that one out. When we met, he was a bodybuilder. His biceps were bigger than my head. I had never met anyone as big as him, Smith said, explained that the two became an item in 2017. Anyway, long story short, so she goes in for mental health treatment in this hospital, right? And she had trouble keeping up with the pronouns of a non-binary caretaker. So once she gets released, Derbyshire, she gets contacted by the Derbyshire police for questioning, because it's illegal, I guess, to misgender people there. So, got to read the rest of it. Sorry. All right. Finally, last but not least, Norway, and let's buck the trend here. Norway offers a step forward into eliminating gender ideology. Uh-oh. Whoa, what? Common sense and science are gradually prevailing. Last week, the Norwegian Healthcare Investigation Board announced that it would be revising its current guidelines regarding so-called, quote, gender-affirming care, end quote, for minors, because it no longer considers them to be evidence-based. The board also acknowledged that the growing number of teenage girls identifying as male post-puberty remains understudied. Under the proposed updated guidelines, the use of puberty blockers, cross-sex hormones, and transition-related surgery would be restricted to research contexts and no longer provided in clinical settings. Norway joins Finland, Sweden, and the United Kingdom in introducing greater safeguards for children. In the United States, 8 states thus far have banned affirmative care for individuals under 18, with Tennessee being the latest to pass such legislation. So, and it goes a little bit more into it, not much, but so Norway has officially made that change. You know, again, adults, whatever. Kids, stop it. Stop it, stop it, stop it. And anyway. All right, that's it. I got to go today because it's, it's that time. I got to leave. Thank you for joining me today on the Morning Night Live. Let's see, a couple other notifications here. Let me just double check. Let's see. Oh, Sarah, thank you for sending me that. We got the Nazi flag guy. Good. All right, so I got to go. Hey, I'll be back this week. The programming note, I will be doing my regular show all week. The only day I won't be doing it is next Monday because I'll be driving. We're going to take probably 16 hours to do an 8-hour drive because we're going to sightsee along the way. But I'll be back tomorrow, regular time, somewhere around 10 o'clock Eastern. If you haven't done so, hit the like button before you go. Share this stream, even afterwards. And if you can sponsor the show, it'll help pay for gas to the trip that we're going. So I hope you all have a wonderful day. Gotta go. My name is P Dog Night, and I am out of here. Bye-bye. Have a great day. Hey, this is P Dog Night, and thank you for watching today on the P Dog Night channel. If you have an observation or remark you'd like to make about this video or my channel, I absolutely welcome you to write it in the comment section down below. I really look forward to hearing from you. And before you go, if you like what you saw but you're not already subscribed, please make sure you hit the subscribe button and definitely click that bell that pops up afterwards so you'll be notified when I post new videos or when we go live. I broadcast my live show, The Morning Night Live, Monday through Friday at 10 o'clock Eastern, 9 o'clock Central. A special thank you to all the supporters of this channel who share our videos on social media and who make donations through Streamlabs, YouTube, Venmo, and Cash App, which are all linked in the description down below. Thanks again, and until next time, I'm P Dog Knight, and I'm out of here.